Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. With Season 1 of Battlefield 6, we obviously saw a couple of weapon updates go out. There's been a little bit of tuning at the time that I'm recording this video as far as weapon behavior goes in terms of incentivizing tap firing and whatnot with some recoil and some spread stuff there. We also got some new weapons added in. So like I plan on doing basically every single new season for Battlefield 6, today I wanted to go through and break down 5 of the best standout weapons in my opinion. Obviously with the general Battlefield 6 meta, if you want to refer to it as that, it's very open, it's very diverse. Obviously you've got so many different roles and classes that play into things, so there really is no such thing as unusable weapons here or hard crutch meta weapons, but there are some that I think are relatively advantageous to use for a variety of situations, and those are the ones that I want to focus on here today, alongside the new weapons, which I also want to give you guys some setups for each and every season when those are added in. So first up here, speaking of those new weapons, I want to start with the SOR 300C carbine rifle. This thing is really a ton of fun to use. It's a pretty accurate option here. It's got a little bit of kick, but you can certainly counter that as you start to level it up and get some new attachments for it, and it hits. This thing is strong, good over the mid-range. You can get some long-range tap firing going on in there. Decently aggressive. A little bit of a slower fire rate by comparison to some other choices, but not a huge hindrance or deterrence there by any means. So first up here, as far as the setup goes, I love the ROM 1.75 times. This is an optic that I spam on a lot of guns just as my preference. I think the reticle is pretty clean, so if you're a fan of it, go for it. If you like a different reticle more, a 2 times, a 3 times, a 1 times, whatever the case is, use what you're the most comfortable with there as always. I also go for the general compensated break here, helping out with that recoil buildup and improving accuracy over time. I think the linear comp here is also fantastic. It's a little bit cheaper as well for what it's worth. That's going to help out with recoil, and of course if you like the stealth factor here, you can always go for one of the suppressors at 37, so it takes a long time to level up and get there, but you do get the lightened suppressor, sort of the go-to one that's pretty solid there for the better recoil and suppression, which is great. But even just the standard suppressor is going to work fine in a lot of cases. This weapon's not too difficult for any recoil there, especially with the other attachments we got. So if you care about that stealth factor, that'll be a great choice, of course. I love extended barrel on here for that better velocity. Just helps out with that overall weapon feel as you're getting into the mid-range, the long range. It'll feel like your bullets are hitting a little bit more seamlessly there. You don't have to bullet drop or bullet lead compensate too much as you're fighting with this thing. I also go for the 6H64 vertical on here. Better recoil control with the cost of accuracy while aiming down sights. That spread factor there is not going to be wildly noticeable in game. I feel like I'm pretty laser accurate with this thing, quite frankly, especially as I am tap firing. If you wanted to upgrade this to a heavier underbarrel, like a stubby for instance, better recoil, better ADS, or even a classic, you could do so as well if you want to spend the points there and you level it up. Those are obviously going to be useful. Really, all the underbarrels are good. It's just to a degree of how much recoil help do you need? Do you want to focus on some ADS speed? Are you worried about bloom when strafing or when you're just generally ADSing? Those all come into play, and it's going to be a different answer for a lot of different players. But for me, the 6H64 is always a nice default that I do go to a lot here. We also end up going for the 30 fast in this case. Fire rate not being too crazy, just a slightly faster reload. I have points left over, figured why not go for that. Currently just using standard ammo. As you do level it up, it is a 33 damage weapon, so hollow point could be advantageous there, but it's all the way at level 38, so gonna definitely take some time to get up to that. In the meantime though, as you start to upgrade it, lightweight for the better ADS, never a bad thing. At 23, I'm only a level off of that. I'll be throwing that on here momentarily, but you definitely want to look out for the hollow point where necessary. Then I got a lot of leftover points here, quite frankly. If you're playing a little bit more aggressive, you want to throw on a laser sight. The blue lasers ultimately are going to be the go-to there, but you could use a laser sight where necessary. If you care about the reloading while ADSing, you could use that as well for what it's worth. But overall, SOR 300SC, pretty consistent carbine here. Definitely a lot of fun to check out and use. Next up here, we've got the Mini Scout, our new sniper rifle, and this thing is a ton of fun. You can see this thing's got a pretty fast fire rate. It's also very aggressive as far as the ADS goes. It's definitely a more aggressive, easily the most aggressive sniper option that we've got in the game here. Leveling this thing up is a ton of fun. It's definitely a multiplayer specific sniper in my opinion. Keep in mind, all these setups here are for multiplayer, not for RedSec. I did already post a separate video for some better loadouts for RedSec, and we'll be covering a lot more over for that mode specifically in the future. But for multiplayer, this thing's going to be fantastic. You could use this on some of the smaller maps if you're playing Dom, King of the Hill, or on the larger maps, Breakthrough, Conquest, Escalation, doesn't matter. One shot, headshot, really good velocity, especially with this build here. This thing is a ton of fun and so satisfying to go and pop kills back to back to back there. It's a beast. It's so fun to use. use. Scope is largely going to be preference here. I like the 6x scope. If you like a larger zoom with an 8x or a variable zoom, you could use those as well. Change to what you're comfortable with there. Of course, flash hider on here, figured why not. Obviously going to hide you from that in-world spotting when firing there, but again, if you like the stealth factor, suppressor is never going to be a bad choice here. There's not really recoil you have to worry about, so between a suppressor or a flash hider, I don't think you can really go wrong there. Any of those are going to work just fine. Extended barrel, you definitely want this on there for that better velocity, makes the bullet drop and the bullet lead easier if you don't have it leveled up to the point where you have the rangefinder, in which case I've got it here at 24 and I can just instantly zero in and I'll be good there, and this thing's gonna feel really, really easy and you know, straightforward when it comes to, okay, I see the enemy, I zero on them, I aim at the head, I've got one kill, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next there. Definitely makes life easy for sure. Stubby underbarrel on here for the faster ADS speed, just makes this gun even more aggressive, which is nice. Figured I'd throw on the 10 fast on here as well, just for the faster reload. I've got extra you know, points on here, so might as well. If you wanted to upgrade to other options, you could, but keep in mind what that'll be doing for your overall mobility for what it's worth. Just standard ammo on here personally for now. You do end up with some leftover points if you wanted to throw on like an anti-glare once you go through and fully level it up at 40, which will definitely take you some time to get to. That's obviously never a bad option to have no glare when you're ADSing, so that'd be something I'd look out for. But other than that, pretty straightforward, very, very aggressive sniper build that is a ton of fun. And by the way, as we are going through the various different weapons and setups here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on the video itself. It's always seriously appreciated. It really does help grow the channel and share the video around to new viewers. And if you happen to be one of those new viewers, or maybe you just have not subscribed yet, we should change that every single day. I got you covered with all things you need to know for Battlefield, whether it's the latest news, updates, weapon guides like this, it's all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up here, we've got the KTS LMG. This is one of the most straightforward guns in the entire game. It is a laser beam. You could fight at 20 meters with this thing, it'll hold its own. You could fight at 120 meters with this thing, it'll hold its own. It's one of the easiest to use weapons in the entire game, and it's one of my favorites right now. I also use this over in RedSec a lot as well for what it's worth, with a pretty similar setup. Again, you already know I'm spamming that ROM 1.75 times scope. Change this if necessary if you like a different one more there. I do go for the standard suppressor in this case for that stealth factor. This gun is so easy that I don't feel like you have to use a break, a compensator, or a converter in any fashion here. Obviously, if you level it up and you get that lightened suppressor at 37, that's even more advantageous than the standard or even the long one. But if you do struggle with some recoil, you want to ensure that you're as accurate as possible, you could go for a break or a converter as well for what it's worth there. Heavy extended, the absolute go-to here. Better accuracy over extended periods of firing, and you get better velocity. That's a win-win, straightforward there for sure. I also go for the angled underbarrel. The slim one here slightly reduces recoil. There's not a ton to begin with, so it keeps it relatively aggressive, and ends up giving you a faster weapon draw and a slightly faster ADS speed there too. So it just makes an LMG, which if you can speed it up and make it more aggressive, that's always a good thing. Makes it even more aggressive there. So that's a clear choice for me for sure. I go for the 45 round mag, speeds things up a little bit in comparison to the default 60, and it's the same cost here. The 50 will be slightly slower for 5 bullets, so if that's something you really want to look into and you're okay with the cons of the mobility there, you absolutely could look into that as well. Don't think there's really a wrong answer here between 60, 45, 50, maybe even a 60 fast as well could be viable. Not much of a difference there in the 50 and the 60 fast outside of a little bit of mobility, so you've got options there for sure. Rock with whatever you need. You're not gonna have a wrong answer by any means. Currently, I got lightweight ammo on here, feeling good for that faster ADS, just makes it again a tad bit more aggressive. Don't really feel the huge need for something like a trigger or a rail cover on here or optic accessories. We're not really using this for hip fire by any means, so we're not using a laser sight. Straightforward build though, it's a ton of fun. Laser accurate. Following that, I've got the PW5A3, the MP5. This thing's a beast as well. You can see it is incredibly accurate. It's got surprisingly good range. I mean, in multiplayer, you can fight in the mid-range with this thing and really not be concerned. It's also great for hip fire, spraying and praying in the close ranges. You're pushing objectives, pushing buildings. This thing is a do-it-all SMG, and I absolutely love it. Here, first up, basic irons. I think they're very clean. They're also the cheapest here, so you get some extra points. So I rock with those personally. We got the blue laser on here. Hip fire accuracy is better. That's a win on any SMG, right? But also better accuracy when you're moving while ADS. So when you're strafing, and I do a lot of strafing intentionally and unintentionally here. On a lot of guns, it'll hurt you with the spread and the bloom that it introduces, but this helps sort of counter that and makes this thing even more accurate there. I really like the CQB suppressor here. Doesn't hurt your hip fire at all and keeps you stealthy with the suppression, obviously. Some people also opt for better control here. I'd obviously go for the linear comp in that case. This is not a too difficult weapon to use, and this will help some with that control and just make it a laser beam up close, but either or there, it's going to be very accurate and very straightforward for sure. Extended barrel on here with that better velocity just makes it a little bit more reliable in the mid-range. Again, with that sort of hit reg feel, it's going to feel like you're not going to have to work as much to bullet drop or bullet lead correct and stay on target there. So just adding in some consistency for sure. Vertical underbarrel in the form of the ribbed vertical for some slightly better recoil control. It says it hurts the accuracy while ADS and moving, but the blue laser kind of counters that outright. 30 round extended mag works fine for me, and it also lines up nicely with my point selection here, maxed out at 100. Then I go for the standard ammo as well for what it's worth. So this thing is mad aggressive, run and gun. You can fly and fry with this. Easily, in my opinion, the best SMG. And then lastly here, I've got the KORD assault rifle. This thing is a laser beam as well. Pretty low recoil and also a very aggressive rifle for what it's worth. You can absolutely play this thing a little bit more aggressive run and gun style of play, but if you need to play some long range, you find yourself on a long range choke point, you can tap fire and it's going to be very accurate as well. And it's got a pretty quick TTK with that faster rate of fire on here. So first up, changing things up a little bit for you guys. I got the 2x scope in this case. I just like to look at this one too. Again, at the end of the day, these optics are all preference really, so use the reticle, use the scope and the zoom level that you're comfortable with. I go for the converter in this case, just helping out with that control. Again, if you care about that suppression, you want to stay off the minimap and everything, a standard suppressor will work fine here. You could even eventually get to that lightened suppressor as well, all the way up at level 40, so good luck getting there in 2.5 years time when you finally max out the gun. I got the heavy barrel on here, better accuracy over sustained fire, and especially with a fire rate like this, does help out quite a bit for sure. Again, vertical underbarrel 6H 6.4 in this case, helping out with the significant recoil reduction according to the in-game description there. I got the 40 round extended mag here. You could drop this down if you want extra points elsewhere with that faster rate of fire. I think having that added safety net is certainly advantageous, but if you're really focused on having you know, a trigger, if you're trying to do the semi-auto, or if you really want a laser sight or something on there because you're playing a bit more aggressive, those are options you could absolutely look into and save some points by reducing that magazine size there. I also rock with the standard ammo as well for what it's worth on there. But yeah, the KORD, really aggressive rifle, but also super easy and really, in my opinion, lower risk, higher reward, which is not always something you end up getting on a lot of guns here. So certainly one that stands out to me. Really, all these choices are fantastic. And these, well, they're the 5 that we're highlighting here today, especially because some of them are brand new with the season, but also just some really reliable choices. There's so many other good ones. We could truthfully go through weapon by weapon in every category and say, okay, these 7 out of 8 are phenomenal. These 5 out of 6 are phenomenal. There's so many good choices here. So don't take it as if you're not using these 5, you're losing. These are just 5 right now that I think are really good standouts that really have a lot of pros in a variety of situations. But that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And of course, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out to ensure you're always up to date with everything going on in Battlefield. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.